Has Congress backed off somewhat on gutting Medicaid? Congress has not fully backed off from plans that would significantly cut Medicaid, but there is notable tension and some hesitancy among House Republicans about the extent of potential cuts. Current situation on Medicaid cuts. House Republicans face a difficult challenge in meeting a $1.5 trillion spending cut target, with Medicaid cuts likely being a major component since other areas, like Medicare, are off-limits for reductions. The House Budget Resolution requires the Energy and Commerce Committee to find $880 billion in savings over 10 years, and Medicaid, which accounts for the vast majority of non-Medicare mandatory spending under their jurisdiction, is the most likely source for these cuts. House leadership, including Speaker Mike Johnson, has publicly stated that they intend to protect Medicaid benefits for eligible recipients and denied that Medicaid will be gutted, emphasizing efforts to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse instead. However, experts and advocates argue that achieving such large savings without cutting benefits is unrealistic and would inevitably harm millions of vulnerable people, including seniors in nursing homes, children, disabled individuals, and others who depend on Medicaid. Some Republicans propose changes like Medicaid work requirements or removing ineligible recipients to reduce spending, but these measures are controversial and unlikely to fully meet the savings goals without deeper cuts. Political and practical constraints. Several moderate and vulnerable Republicans have expressed concerns about Medicaid cuts, and some have indicated they would not support the reconciliation plan if it included deep cuts to Medicaid. States with constitutional amendments mandating Medicaid expansion, for example, South Dakota, Missouri, Oklahoma, face legal and budgetary challenges if federal Medicaid funding is cut, complicating the implementation of cuts. Many House Republicans represent districts with high Medicaid enrollment and significant health needs, making them wary of cuts that could hurt their constituent. While Republicans continue to push for spending reductions to offset tax cuts for the rich, they face internal divisions and public opposition, given Medicaid's popularity and critical role in providing health care to millions. Summary: Congress, particularly House Republicans, has not fully backed off from pursuing Medicaid spending cuts as part of broader deficit reduction efforts. However, there is clear reluctance and debate about the scale and nature of these cuts. Republican leaders claim they will protect benefits and focus on program integrity, but the required savings targets suggest that some level of benefit reduction or eligibility tightening is likely. Political pushback from moderate Republicans, legal constraints in some states, and concerns about the impact on vulnerable populations have complicated efforts to implement deep Medicaid cuts, indicating a more cautious and contested approach than in previous years. In conclusion, while Medicaid cuts remain on the table, congressional Republicans appear somewhat restrained compared to past attempts, balancing their budget goals with political and practical realities.